Hello guys, welcome to Tiny Scroll. Be sure to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Saving Nora, episode 16. It was getting late, so the light in the narrow stairwell was rather dim. Pete stared at Cherry in shock. Her eyes were wide as saucers, and her mouth was hanging open. They stared at each other for some time. Cherry was the first to speak. "Why is there a mirror in the stairwell?" Pete grinned slightly. "This isn't a mirror." Cherry was confused. "Why do you look exactly the same as me, then?" They fell quiet for a few more seconds. Then Pete hesitantly said, "Are we twins?" Cherry had reached the same conclusion. She was thrilled and leaped forward. She hugged Pete tightly. "Wow. Did I just meet? Oh my gosh. I found my brother." She was so excited she could barely get the words out. Pete stiffened. He'd always refused and avoided physical contact with others in the past, and he wasn't used to it. It was a peculiar feeling. He should be overjoyed at finding this girl who looked so like him. She couldn't be anything but his identical twin sister. His family was getting bigger by the day. It should be heartwarming, but it made him think of when he had eaten dinner with his mom the other night, and she'd hugged him. Did she mistake me for this girl? Is that why she hugged me? Was none of it real after all? Pete wondered. Thinking about that dinner encounter, Pete turned pale. He sounded a little sad as he asked, "Why did Mummy abandon me?" Cherry let go of him and hurriedly explained, "Mummy didn't abandon you. It was our horrid grandpa who sent you away. The reason we came back to the States was so we could look for you." "Really?" Cherry nodded repeatedly. She was worried her brother wouldn't believe her. "It's true. It's true." Her soft hands grabbed hold of Pete's, and she led him down the stairs. "Let's go find Mummy. She'll be overjoyed I found you. And then she'll take us home. We can all be together again." Pete stopped. "But what about Daddy?" Cherry paused. "Oh, I forgot about him. Mummy definitely won't want Daddy." "Why?" "Mummy thinks he and his family are trouble. She thinks he's annoying." "Does Daddy like Mummy?" Pete replied, his expression hard to read. "Daddy seems to hate her. What do we do?" They sat down on the steps together. They looked like two peas in a pod as they've tried to think of a plan. "By the way, my name is Cheryl Smith, but everyone calls me Cherry." "What's your name?" "Peter Hunt. Everyone calls me Pete. I want to spend time with both you and Daddy, Pete, but I can't leave Mummy either. What can we do? Do you have any ideas?" Pete replied slowly, deep in thought as a plan took shape in his mind. "Yes, I think I do." Cherry jumped up excited all over again. "What is it?" Pete explained his idea seriously. "We have to make Daddy and Mummy fall in love. Then they won't hate each other anymore, and we can all be happy together. Here's what we need to do." They put their heads together and plotted, working out all the details of Pete's plan. When they were finally ready to head their separate ways, Cherry had an idea of her own. "I want to play with Daddy. Can we pretend to be each other tonight?" Pete also wanted to spend some time with his mother, so he agreed instantly, his eyes shining brightly. The twins said goodbye and then quietly snuck back to each other's rooms, keen to put their plan into action. They couldn't wait to get their mom and dad together and fix their broken family. Nora contacted the hospital's management office after she left the ward. The administrator agreed to her request immediately. Athena was widely renowned as one of the best surgeons in the world. Several of her surgical videos had become classic teaching materials in many hospitals and medical colleges. Having her perform surgery in the hospital was undoubtedly an honor. There was just one condition. The management would want some of their internal medical personnel to assist, so they could observe and learn from the operation. Nora didn't mind agreeing to this request. Next, she had to sort the operation site and facilities. The hospital's equipment was outdated and couldn't meet the demands of such a sophisticated surgery. She'd need to borrow some from New York. As it was such short notice, it took her more than 2 hours of back and forth to settle all the arrangements. Only then did she return to the ward, intending to comfort her aunt. She thought Henry and Wendy would have left by then, but she heard a dispute in the ward as soon as she arrived. Henry was ranting arrogantly. "If you want Angela to ask Dr. Larson to perform the surgery, then get Nora to surrender the company. Which is more important, that lousy company or her aunt's life?" Irene's breathing was unsteady. "Angela, I've always treated you well. I'd like to ask you for the same courtesy. Is the company or my life more important? Angela sneered. When have you ever treated me well? And Irene. It's always been obvious you like Nora more than me. Back when you were making dresses, you made us the same clothes, but you must have used more fabric for hers, right? If you'd really meant to treat me well, then you shouldn't have made any for her at all. Her selfish words angered Irene. Angela went on. Also, I know you gave us the same presents at Christmas, but did you think that I didn't know you always gave her extra in private? Just admit it. You love her more than me, don't you? She's more of a niece to you than I am, isn't she? What do you even see me as? Irene clenched her fists. I was giving her extra in her mother's stead. Angela was just about to say something when Lisa grabbed her hand. Her eyes were swollen from crying so much. Please, Angela, put in a good word for us with Dr. Larson and save my mother. She fell to her knees and pleaded, Please, Angela. Angela shook her off and stepped away. Don't think I'll relent just because you're turning on the waterworks. Oh, Lisa. What are you doing? Wendy exclaimed. You should be begging Nora for help instead. This caught Henry's attention as though he'd just thought of a good idea, he said. Heed your aunt's advice, Lisa. Go to Hotel Finest now and try your luck there, right in the lobby, out in public. Beg Nora to save your mother. Isn't she staying there because she's hoping to snag a good husband? If she doesn't want to be embarrassed, she'll definitely agree to sign over the company. Outside the door, Nora's downcast eyes turned icy as she listened to her father. When she was a child, she thought her father liked her sister more than her because he didn't understand her. Hearing him now, she knew that he'd understood everything all along. There was no reason for his favoritism. How can he say such horrible things so calmly, as if it's all completely justified? Henry, Irene shouted sharply. How can you even consider treating Nora like that? She turned to Lisa and ordered, I forbid you to go to that hotel. The vain hope on Lisa's face drained little by little, and she wept silently on her knees. Get up, Lisa. Stop embarrassing yourself. Nora's uncle, Black, told his daughter sternly. He pointed at Henry, Wendy, and Angela and yelled, Get out of here, all of you. You're all ingrates. All of you. Irene gave her all for her nieces, but not a single one of you is a decent human being. He picked up the bouquet of flowers and threw them at Henry. As he pushed the three of them out of the ward, he saw Nora waiting outside and paused. Nora pressed her lips together, intending to tell him about the operation. Uncle Will. His eyes were red, and he was overcome with anger. He snapped at her, You're just as bad as the rest of them. Get lost.